All right. Welcome to another episode of Life Change Transformation. We're in season three. This is episode five. As I always, I'm joined by Maeve Langford over in Cork Island. It's always a great pleasure to be here with her. It's always a pleasure to do this for you guys and with her. It's really something I really look forward to, connecting with you guys, connecting with her. She's a transformational coach. She's really creating an amazing environment for her clients and the people over in her community and that country. And it's really great to see her continue to grow and expand. Of course, her coaching is she's got a card deck that helps people. She's got a whole bunch of programs, and I think it's amazing. If you guys want to check that out, it's fantastic. So she's amazing. Welcome, Maeve. Thank you very much. Always being here. Me, I'm Gary Benoit. I'm a speaker and I'm an author, and I'm retired from the police department a few years ago, and I've got a bit of history there when it comes to a journey that I like to share. And this transformation work really is something that is passionate for both of us. And we believe that anybody can change their situation, anybody can grow into something that they want to be. And that really lines up with today's topic. We're going to talk a bit about honor and honoring your path, honoring your gifts, your talents in a way, and maybe shine some light on what that means for people. And as well as for maybe you listening, is what does it mean for you to have that piece of honoring who you are and what gifts you were given. So honor really is that quality where you're honest and fair and you're worthy of respect. So you got to respect the place you've come from, respect the things you're being given. And it often means keeping your promises, doing what's right, acting with integrity, even when it's difficult, right? And so I think it's great to be in that energy of honoring who we are, right? And not compromising who we are. And really that journey that we have is special to us, right? My journey is very special to me. And your journey may have is special to you,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Absolutely.
And I think that there's a big thing there around your gifts. Like I think the talents we're given, we were talking earlier as we were preparing for this, and something you said was really cool is that people often point out our talents, right, to us, or things that we're
Mm,
good at.
yeah,
And we often just go, oh, thanks, and we dismiss it and not really thinking it's anything too special. But
yeah,
that's that piece of honoring where I think it's great to know because it does come naturally, right? I think
yeah,
things do come naturally sometimes.
yeah, absolutely. And I think, for all of you listening today, when you think about what are my gifts, think about what if people complimented you on, and sometimes that might be, an external, maybe you're great at cooking or um playing music or singing or whatever it is, and people see that on the outside, and sometimes it's kind of like, you're a great listener, or you're a great homemaker, or you're great at kind of bringing a team together in some way. And sometimes when that's kind of an innate gift, like, I mean, all gifts are innate, I suppose, on one level, but like when it feels like something that's innate that you didn't have to really practice, or you weren't conscious of trying to develop in some way. I think sometimes as the bearer of those gifts, and they're different for all of us, but whatever it is that thing is that's innate and kind of comes naturally to us, I think there's a real human tendency to dismiss it,
Mhm.
or to just kind of say, oh yeah, yeah, I know I've got that, but we don't realize the value it has for the people
Mhm.
around us,
Mhm.
right? So I think when you talk about honoring our gifts, Gary, there's a piece of that that's really about seeing the value that has for people
Mhm.
in our families, in our community, in our workplace.
Mhm. Lots of times I guess how this applies to the transformation process is really it's about this is but we've come through a journey. We've all traveled a distance, depending on how old you are
Mhm.
and what you've experienced in your life. The path that you've traveled essentially to this point is full of those learning moments. It's full of those opportunities to find gratitude. It's opportunities to figure out who we really are in certain moments. If I look back at my own path, I mean, there's lots of in moments and in incidences that I've gone through that I had to learn certain things. I had to figure out what it meant for me and how I responded, and it taught me who I kind of was, and it highlighted some of those gifts along the way. Now, that path, we could spend a lot of time sometimes finding the right path. I'm going to air quote the right path, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know if there really is a right path. I think the path that we travel is the right path. Doesn't matter how we travel it, because I don't think it's a straight line shot ever. It's never
No.
like that. And
No.
transformation isn't straight line, right?
Yeah.
We talk about it linearly, and we often explain it in a way that's linear, and we can line it up and visualize it in our mind in a straight line. But it really isn't. It's more of a it's more of a weave.
Definitely. I absolutely believe that. And I've said this here before that I think our path or our purpose or, the meaning of life is to become the best version of yourself that you can be,
Right.
right? And I think you can be on that path of becoming, and it looks different at different ages and stages in life. And none of that means that you weren't on the right path earlier, or that it's going to be exactly the same, a few years or another decade hence. But all of it is serving the growth to
Mm-hmm.
allow you to become. And if you had taken a different path or a different route, we'll say, you could still come to the same
Mm-hmm.
place, and
Mm-hmm.
the paths might be different or the routes might be different, but you're still on the right path, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. I mean, I
100%.
don't maybe, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Good.
because like it's all about growth, right? So that's where transformation is, right? If you can honor your path, honor the stuff you've learned, and right away, if you honor it, if you really do respect it, it's like,
Mm,
oh, now you can find the gratitude, and then all of a sudden you have some growth, right?
exactly.
And
Yeah.
and so these gifts, these talents that we're given, I think we're all given unique talents. I think everybody on the planet is given something unique in themselves. It doesn't matter who you are, we all have them. It's about discovering what they are. Too often as well, I find I hear lots of conversations around with people, and you speak with people, and they all want to find their calling in life. What's my calling in life? What was I called here to do? There's a lot of conversation around that, I think,
Yeah.
more now than ever, especially with social media and all the things that people are talking about. What was I called here to do? And I think that also depends on where you're at in life. I think there's certain things along the way, and I want to highlight that a little bit. When I was 20 years old, I believed I was called to become a policeman. I think that was it was in my journey. That was part of what I had to become. I was called to serve the public. That was how I answered that particular call to serve the public. And I always loved speaking to people. I loved the idea of public speaking. I took Toastmasters at a young age, right? I wanted to work on that craft. I really enjoyed that part of it.
Mhm.
And it wasn't like I forgot that, but as I went through policing, there was no opportunity in that moment. And what I realize now, because hindsight's always 2020, right? You can always look back and connect the dots, like you said before, right? I can't connect them forward. If I had pursued the public speaking piece when I was 20 years old, I didn't have the knowledge, nor did I have any real experience to draw on to
Mm.
do the public speaking piece.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for my policing journey and giving me some experiences that are very specific to me that I can relate to other people to hopefully help them and they're in the same situation, I wouldn't have had the ability, right? So the opportunity to really
Yeah.
develop that. I could have maybe forced it. I could have maybe, you know, done something along the way that maybe try to do that, but it wouldn't have been the same as because it's very organic now,
Yeah.
right? And so I think it depends on where you're at because things will change, right? You'll do something for a while, you'll get you something, and you move on to something else. And if your calling aligns with your career, that's fantastic,
Mm.
right? If you're called to be in your career and that's what it is, and it creates an income for you, that's amazing. But don't go do something just to make the money because you think you're called to do it. Like you really follow your calling. If you're called to volunteer with people, if you're called to go work with kids, if you're called to go work with cancer patients, or if you're called to go work with the homeless or whatever that might be, or whatever, some sort of like give back volunteer, that's okay too, because you know what, that's still fulfilling for you and it gives you an experience and it gives you a path.
Yeah.
Does that kind of
Yeah, and I just want to nuance that a little bit, right?
Sure.
Because sometimes we can have like a again these can be kind of cultural norms that we've adopted as well, but I just like there's a little bit there that like some of the examples you give is kind of like if you choose to work with the homeless or to work with kids or whatever, well, you might make a career out of that or a living out of that. But if that's your calling and you want to make a living and a career out of it, in our world, we would say build a vision for that,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Where like your calling, like it speaks maybe what made me respond a bit to it was that it speaks a little bit to the, you can't earn a living if you're an artist or
Mm,
as,
hmm.
a
Same idea.
musician.
Hmm.
So again, yeah, yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. So build a vision for that, right? But your calling might absolutely be to sing or to serve in particular ways. And what I would say to you, Gary, just as you were talking there, and you said, answering the calling in my youth was to become a police officer, right? The calling was to serve.
Hmm.
Right. And the way in which you serve, this is what I was trying to say. We might have different routes to
Hmm.
on the same path, as a young man, your service was as a police officer, right? Now your service is to talk about the learnings and the growth you had
Hmm.
on that path and
Correct.
how to support others to transform and navigate very challenging life
For sure.
circumstances. But ultimately, I would still say you were still on your path of
Hmm.
answering your calling to serve.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
100%.
And for me, in some respects, I would say from like when I was really young, and I don't even know where I found the language to say I want to help people, but that's what I would have said, even in primary
Hmm.
school, was that, I want to help people. And for a long time that was as I was just a student and I was trying to just understand the world and I did lots of voluntary stuff and did some of those things that you talked about working with kids, or for me, it was more
Hmm.
working with the homeless as a
Hmm.
young student, and then working with people in addiction, and then
Hmm.
ultimately found myself my way into human resources, and from there into training, and from there into coaching, right?
Hmm.
But I would still say the outward expression of it changed and grew with me, but I was still doing the thing that I felt called to do as a young kid, which was
Hmm.
to help people
Hmm.
in some.
And that's fantastic because I agree. There's like definitely that idea to serve, right? That for me, it was the service piece, the be of service to others.
Yeah.
And then with the talent, the gift, I think the gift that I was given in that was connection with people. So I think that's my connect. I think that's one of the gifts I have is
Yeah.
that ability to connect with people. And that would be either one-on-one in person or, you know, from a stage or just in a group or whatever. I have the ability to connect with people. And
Yeah.
and that gift and the courage and the ability to talk to people and have conversations with people and have real talk with people. But that connecting gift served
Yeah.
me very well all the way through my whole policing career,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not only did I
Right.
connect
Yeah.
with the people I dealt with in the public because you only see them for a snapshot of time,
Yeah.
but the connection needs to be real if they want to trust you to for you to help.
Yeah.
And two, you connect with people you work with,
Yeah.
right? And then I got promoted, of course, and then I had a whole 10 or 12 people in my squad that I had to connect with and I really built that bond with people.
Mm.
And and I'm blessed to say that those people that I worked with, and especially from a leadership, when I was a leader in that role, they really respected that group. And that group was always we always had really good groups of people. And part of
Yeah.
that is because of the fact that I was able to connect with them each individually and as a group, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where my gift is. And that's what I believe I was given naturally. It didn't,
Yeah.
that I didn't develop that over time. That just came naturally to me, right?
Yeah.
And I honor that piece of it. It's like, you know what? I honor that because I realize now that all of that connection, it can be done in many different ways. And so that's that piece of honoring whatever was given to me by God
Yeah.
or by spirit or by the universe. That you were given this talent. And it's
Yeah.
a talent. We sometimes societally, we think talents are we often equate talent to people playing sports, right? Someone who's like top of their game in sports, if it's
Mm.
football or if it's American football or hockey, ice hockey, or whatever, you name a sport, right? Anybody that's top of their game. If you like Formula One or whatever, you watch those drivers and they're the best of the best, right? And so like those guys have a talent to drive, right? And
Mm.
so I think we equate that to something very extraordinary. Like we think, well, it
Yeah,
has to be like this grandiose, amazing. You're gonna be
yeah,
kind of, look at singers, right? Like there's lots of amazing singers out there, but the ones that are like always in the media and always like doing tours and selling out major, major venues, right? They have a talent and they have a gift, right? And so I think societally we sort of put those things and we think to ourselves, well, I don't have any of that,
yeah, yeah.
right? I don't have that. So maybe I don't have any talents.
Mm.
But what if your talent was just like I say, mine's connected with people, right? It's not like it's you're not going to see me playing hockey because I can connect with people because right, I played hockey, but you know, I was okay at it, but I wasn't going to make a big splash in that arena, right?
Yeah,
With that talent,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like it can be quiet, right? It isn't all about big splashes. And I suppose that's one of the big things when we're asking each of you to think about what might be your gift and what's your path at the moment. And like I would say a big thing that gets in the way of us expressing our gifts and our talents is because we compare ourselves with others, right? And we look at, "Oh, I'm not as good as that person," or, they're further along than me, and maybe if I'm not there yet, it means I'm not that good or something. So I really think that, just you do you, right?
Hmm.
What did Oscar Wilde, I don't know, somebody said, just be yourself because everybody else is taken, right? So just you do you. And I
Yeah.
still think that that's the best gift we can give to anybody, right? Because again, if you come back to my belief that we're here to become the best version of ourselves, that we are spirit individuating as each of us individually, so nobody else can do Gary Benoit. Nobody else can be Maeve Langford. Nobody else can be any of you listening today. So you just want to like and let it be fun, right?
Hmm.
Like let it
Hmm.
let it be an enjoyable experience to allow yourself to be yourself and
Hmm.
to bring the best of you to it and know that that's enough, right?
Hmm.
We're never asked to be more than that because that is amazing. Like when
Right.
when we are really being ourselves and bringing our gifts and talents to the fore, then that's a beautiful energy for
Hmm.
anybody to be around, and
Absolutely.
it's all that's ever called for, really.
Absolutely. Because, like, this is when you think about the time of year, right? We're beginning of January. We probably just set some resolutions for the year, some things we want to get accomplished in the
Yes,
year.
yes,
And I think those are obviously by if you've done that, you set some goals for the year, you set some ideas for the year, those are important to you. And I think a piece of that is really reflecting on who we are in the moment and who we are trying to become and honoring the gifts that we're given so that we can take our gifts to apply them to the goals that we've got to achieve the life that we want to achieve.
yeah,
And so this idea that we have to and really it's just about sitting quietly with yourself. You'll know what your talents, you'll have an idea. They'll always
mm,
have been there. You'll kind of have a this intuitive thought around what I'm good at, and you'll have an idea already.
yeah,
It's just about really leaning into that now and really exploring that for yourself and how it can help you apply it, and you can apply it to what you're doing and grow into this version of yourself that you're trying to become.
yeah,
Because if you're listening to our podcast, obviously you are definitely wanting to grow yourself and you're wanting to explore how we can achieve different results in our lives.
yeah,
And anybody can achieve the results they want. And once again, just know that by honoring where you've come from, you'll find different gratitudes, different learnings. By honoring who you are in this moment, right? Just know that you're special. You have this moment, you have this spark inside of you, you have this idea for growth and expansion inside you. That's fantastic. And you'll honor what your talents are. You'll have the ability then to honor the road you're going to be traveling.
Yeah.
And it changes your perspective a little bit when you sit in that place, I think, a little bit, because you're like, you know what? You're going to start having more gratitude for the different days that you show up and you can actually enjoy the journey. You make it fun then because it's like, well, you know what? Yeah, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm doing it in a way that's amazing and I'm having great fun with it. And maybe the results don't come exactly when you put it on paper. That's okay. But you're
Mm.
still honoring that process, right? Honoring who you are, honoring those gifts.
Yeah. And I would say, again, just in that kind of energy of new year, new energy, kind of new start. Sometimes it can be a lovely time to think back to like, what did you really love doing as a kid, right?
Hmm.
Maybe you loved painting or drawing or playing music or writing or I don't know, anything. Like maybe it was out in a tractor or whatever, whatever. I just don't know what it is for other people. But to be able to kind of tap back into some of that. And, maybe you're never going to be Picasso, right? Or I'm never going to be Picasso. But if you get great pleasure from drawing or painting or whatever that talent and gift might be, then you living and honoring that gift and being the person who's having the pleasure of it, then it becomes something that lights you up. And again, that energy that you bring to the world then is a completely different energy. So we
Hmm.
don't have to be, you know, national figures in that area, but we do want to be honoring the gift, right?
Hmm.
And I see so many people who are amazing at crafts or painting or singing or whatever it is. And when they're doing that thing and enjoying it, everybody's gravitating towards them,
Hmm.
because you just want to be around that energy. So maybe for you listening today, it is and the new year, like what could I revisit or what did I used to love doing when I was
Hmm.
younger? And I could maybe pick it up again. It might be a sport, it might be, something artistic, it might simply be, joining in a community and volunteering, like you mentioned earlier. The
Hmm.
more we can bring those gifts into our everyday, the more we enjoy our lives, I think. But as I said, the impact on everybody around us is amazing.
And you,
And
you said, so you said something really, really keen there. And I want to just highlight it for people because they may have missed it. You talked about your energy. And I think by showing up in that way, honoring your gifts, honoring your talents, leaning into who you, and you
yeah,
have that, when we start to do stuff that we really enjoy, we light up in a different way.
yeah,
Right. And
yeah,
right away, because everything's energy, right? We've talked about that lots. Everything's energy. We give off energy. We accept, and then all of a sudden you start giving out that energy and you're loving it. You will attract. You put to action the law of attraction
yeah,
because people will start to attract to
yeah,
what you're doing and see what you're doing, and they'll, and as you continue to get more belief and more like more solid state with your own
yeah,
being in that moment, in that whatever you're doing, you do create that energy and you start to bring in and calling in new people that will help you achieve or get to different levels. And maybe new opportunities come as a result of it. Maybe you start with a volunteering thing, but next thing you know, you have an opportunity to create an income with it
work in that.
because you have no
Yeah,
idea how it can happen, right?
yeah,
We have ideas, but we have infinite ideas, right? We have no idea, right? And
absolutely.
a business partner of mine, um, on the financial side of things, because we do some financial work with people, but a business partner of mine always said that, you know, you can go and start something new and you can be miserable at it and upset or whatever, having this low energy. Nobody, nobody's going to come and want to work with you if your energy is low, right?
Yeah,
He goes,
yeah,
come in, be happy, be enthused. He goes, because as soon as you're happy and enthused, people are curious, why are you so happy?
yeah, yeah,
Right? Because
absolutely,
you can
absolutely.
go and be miserable anywhere, but you come in and you want to be doing something, be someone that creates energy, be happy because you start to bring in more people because you can be miserable anywhere, but be happy in who you are and what you're doing. It creates energy, right? So like you start
Absolutely.
to attract certain things, right? And he's talking
Yeah.
about, just being energetic and upbeat about what you're doing and be happy with it, right? And that's
Yeah.
like life. That's how you get the most of the life,
Yeah. Exactly.
right?
Exactly. And I think, again, just if anybody listening today is kind of thinking, oh, I always had a longing or a desire to, I don't know, be a teacher or a nurse, or again, I don't know what it is for anybody else, right? For me, it was to become a coach, right? But I remember when I was doing my training with Mary Morrissey, and I mention her here regularly, and she's been an amazing kind of coach and mentor and role model. But she used to say to us, like, as you're leading into that, developing that talent and offering that out into the world more and more. And again, it doesn't have to be as part of your paid vocation, but for me it was. And she says, like, you're going to get nervous sometimes, right? And you're going to think, oh, there's other coaches out there, or, other teachers, other talent, whatever it is. But she said to come back to that, there will be people that she said part of your desire to be that thing is in answer to the calling of the people who need that thing from you. And she was like, when you're having those moments where, am I good enough? Do I have what it takes? Who's going to want me to be their coach or their teacher or their musician or whatever it is, that you want to understand that part of the very fact that you feel a calling for it is because there are people out there who will only receive it through you.
Mhm.
And there can be other coaches, other teachers, other musicians, but they won't, those people who you were responding to their call, they will only hear about transformation, or they'll only hear the music, or they'll only see the beauty in your version of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so beautiful, because so much of the time we can feel a bit like that imposterism, who am I to put myself out there, to kind of tell people, look at me, I've got this thing that you might need or want. And it's a bit like, who are you not to, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because you're being called, like
Hmm.
it comes back to, you have a path and you were being called to something, and honor it, because it's
Hmm.
not just about you, it's about all the people who will be served by you
Hmm.
as you step into that calling. So
Exactly.
I found
100%.
that really helpful
Hmm.
for me on my
Yep.
path. Yeah.
Absolutely. So as we wind up here a little bit, I'm gonna, come to the end of this podcast already. Um, what is, I mean, what are a few things they could do to really explore their talents? Like, how can people, what can we give them to, what do you think is a way to like drill down what they know to be a talent?
Well, I mean, I definitely think one of the things is to think back to, what did you love as a kid, right? And whatever that was, to if you're not doing something with that in your life, to see how could you integrate it back in. So
Mm.
again, I think it was Mary Morrissey told us a story once of a client of hers who had been a skater, right? And I think maybe even at Olympic level as a young person, and through injury wasn't able to pursue it. So it just got forgotten about and put to one side. And much later in life, she, had achieved other things professionally, but that kind of joie de vivre just wasn't there. And when she was asked, well, what did you love as a kid? Skating came up, and she said, but I got injured. I wasn't going to be able to go pro, so I gave it up. And she was encouraged to go back to skating again, and she did. And for, like, not as a professional, not to earn money, not to do anything, but just for the sheer joy of it. And
Mm.
she didn't change her job or didn't do anything except she started skating again, and it was like her whole life lit up again. So I would say find those things that you loved when you were younger and do more of that.
Hmm.
And the other thing might be to just talk to friends and family, and again, people you trust, colleagues in the workplace, even a boss that you trust, and just say, what do you really value in me, or what do you think are the things I bring to the table, or that you'd like to see more of from me? And just get curious and see. And some of it you might already be doing, and you might already value to a certain extent in yourself, but being open to hearing how others value it might just, expand your own awareness of it, and maybe open up additional opportunities for how you could bring those talents more to the fore.
Right. That's fantastic. Um, I think there's a few things there. I think getting quiet.
Hmm.
Um, Sorry, one second here. I'm just looking up something real quick just because I want to add it here. I gotta think of the name and I can't think of it. I'm just searching it real quick. Um, when we're sitting quiet with ourselves, when we're sitting here and we're really thinking, considering what it means to be who we are, I think we have that intuitive like feeling. I think sometimes for me, like I say, the connection piece for me was what I realized. So I think get quiet with yourself, really reflect on the things that really kind of make you smile, like kind of that
Mm,
when you're doing it, and you also you kind of get that little smile inside or that feeling. Oh, okay. Pay attention to that part. I think that's really really cool.
mhm.
And there's the Strength Finder book.
Yes.
There's a book out there. You can get it. You can read it. There's a little questionnaire thing you can fill out. It'll kind of give you some strengths if you're kind of searching for your, like what your strengths might be.
Hmm.
Right. It's a very good. That was the book in my brain. I couldn't think of the name of it. I had to quickly search it here so I could get it in my head so I could tell you guys
Yeah.
because I couldn't remember the name of it. But Strength
Yeah.
Finder. But it's one of those things where you can just do and it's like a quiz. It's a self-assessment quiz essentially is what you are. That's one way to start that journey. I mean that's where mine
Hmm.
started. I did that back many years. Like I didn't know that connection was an actual strength. I didn't know what
Yeah.
that meant, right? So
Yeah.
I had to understand it. And and I think that was it was a kind of a catalyst for me to really reevaluate talents and strengths a little bit differently, right? It gave me
Yeah.
an opportunity to see things differently, which was great. And so just sit quietly, sit with yourself, have that intuitive, when you get that little smile, get that little fuzzy feeling on the inside. That's a great indication that that's something you really love to do, right? Or that's something that you
Yeah.
really have a strength of, and then it's about then taking that little thought, many things you said there, and then just looking at your goals, your vision, your ideas, and see where it applies inside of those things and how you can use it then to apply it, right? So I think that's a couple of things there for me. Like I said, just sit quietly. I like the meditation piece. I think meditation does quite a lot for me.
Yeah.
I really quite like meditation. I like prayer. That helps quite a bit for my overall understanding of who I am and what I'm about. So that all can also help. So
Well,
that's what I
absolutely.
have for you guys. What's that?
Yeah, just when you were saying meditation and prayer, like that we can meditate on the question, like what are my strengths? What
Hmm.
are my talents? What am I being called to? Or, what's the next expression of the things I've already been working on that maybe I'm ready to take to
Hmm.
a new level? And maybe just to put a qualifier in there on the strengths, right? That a strength isn't just something that we're good at,
Hmm.
right? But we're good at it and it's life-giving, right?
Hmm.
Because we can have lots of things that we're good at, but we don't particularly enjoy them, or,
Hmm.
we're good at them, but they don't really light our, what is it, light your boat or whatever
Yeah.
the word, I can't think of the phrase. But a strength is something that you're good at it and you feel enthused when you're
Right.
doing it. Like I said,
Right.
the smile is
The
on your
smile. Right.
face and
Yeah.
there's good energy behind
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah. And so like once again, like the Strength Finder was great for me. Like it was one of those things where I used to just start my ideas because I saw things differently, and then I can explore each one of those ones
yeah.
a
It
little
can
bit
be a
more
great
deeply, right?
aha.
Great for
Yeah,
sure, right? So anyways, you
yeah.
guys, I appreciate you. Maeve, anything coming up in the month of January or so moving forward, February? What's happening with you in the
Yeah,
next little
so
bit
for
here?
me, there is the Vision Workshop is coming up the 24th and 25th of January. So it's still in the beautiful Nanonagle birthplace near me here in rural North County Cork, and would love to see you guys there. I
Awesome.
know not necessarily flying in from Canada, although that's very welcome too. But
Sure, you can.
anybody locally, we'd love to see you there. It is an in-person event, so
Okay.
it's not recorded. Um, so yeah, we'd love to see you guys there.
Awesome. Yeah. For me, just February 21st, if you're inclined to come out to our Ignite and Inspire event, there's going to be three very powerful keynote speakers. We got a band. It's designed, the night's really an evening of entertainment and enlightenment for everybody that's there to really engage their thought process as well as have a bit of fun and enjoy the company and sounds of music and just kind of have a good time. And that's on the February 21st. It's in Edmonton, just on the south side, at a golf course called Red Tail Landing. So the tickets are on Eventbrite. If you're in the area, if you want a direct link to the tickets, please reach out to me on my social media at Instagram at Gary M. Benoit, and I can send you the
Brilliant.
link
We
directly.
might put it under the
Yeah,
description
we'll
in
throw everything
Spotify as
on the
well.
description as well on here.
Yeah.
And we love connecting with you guys. If you love something on an episode, please put it, we can communicate through the Spotify, or we can do it over social media, whatever that is. If you love what we're doing here, please follow us. If you really love what we're doing, share us with people,
Yeah.
and yeah, that would be
Yes.
fantastic. We love that as well. We would love to see this grow as well as we start to impact more people, and we want to, we're already in 23 different countries, which is fantastic. We've had some great growth over the last couple of years, but we're always looking to expand because we believe that we want to touch more people's lives and be of service to others. And so if we can, please share us, please follow us. That's how we grow our awareness. All this content is free, right? We just want to give it away because we think it's important to do that. So, and love you guys. Thanks for listening in. Maeve, as always, you're fantastic. Um, Insights are amazing. So thank you very much for all your knowledge and the being here with me to do this. So we appreciate you and appreciate
We
all the
appreciate
listeners.
everybody listening, right?
Yeah,
And wishing you a very happy new year and an
absolutely.
absolutely phenomenal
Yes,
2026.
2026 is going to be amazing. So, let's get ready for it. It's going to be awesome. Okay, guys, we'll see you next week or 2 weeks, I guess, from now.
Exactly. Bye for now. Happy New Year.